Welcome to the Childcare Genius Podcast, the world's leading authority on childcare marketing, mindset, expansion, and profitability. Our host, Brian Duprey, is the world's most sought-after childcare coach, having helped tens of thousands of childcare owners from around the globe take their business to the next level. Let's welcome to the Childcare Genius Podcast, our host, Brian Duprey.
Hello, welcome to the Childcare Genius Podcast Training Series. I'm your host, Brian Duprey, joined today by amazing co-host Lisa Giancarli. Lisa, how are you today?
I am fabulous. Thank you. How are you?
Good to have Lisa on. Lisa is on the faculty at Childcare Genius University, and we're going to do a training topic today just for you. Just to know, we do this every Friday. We pick a short training topic. We spend 5 to 10 minutes and just hit some highlights of a training topic to give you some value from Childcare Genius. So Lisa, today we're going to talk a little bit about having a parent onboarding program, which is something new. Hadn't heard of it before. And you told me you just started doing this at your school, and I wanted to learn more about it. And it sounds like a really good idea. I mean, we onboard staff, right? And staff come and go, but we want parents to stay there quite a while. We make a little bit of revenue off these parents. So we want them to stay. So why not onboard them? I love it. So let's talk about your program.
Well, the reason how it started was, when you onboard a family or you start a family, you give them that whole big parent information book, right? Parent handbook. And did they read it? No. So then we started by pulling out important policies that we made sure they understood. And we just felt like it wasn't enough. And one day I said to my director, maybe we should onboard the parents like we onboard our staff. Like when we get new staff, we work so hard to get them familiar with our school, how to train them, how to learn all our policies and our procedures. So we figured, why could we create it for the parents to make them into like a smooth transition into our center? So that's what we came up with. We're still fine tuning it, but obviously it's going over, the important policies and procedures that they need to know about. When they first start with us, we talk about tuition, when it's due, how they're going to pay it. If they don't pay it, they can't come. What kind of supplies to bring for their child. We've gone through so many families where they don't bring in those extra set of clothes or the diapers. So now we tell them we're going to charge them. Once you start telling parents that you're going to charge them for something, you'd be surprised how quick they remember to bring in the diapers, the wipes, the second set of clothes, and all that good stuff. So telling them about how you will charge them if a payment gets refused from the bank or the processing. Another thing we go over is late drop-off. We'd like all of our children to be in our center by 9 a.m. And we found that over the last couple of years, they were coming in whenever they wanted to. And it was really affecting the flow of the classrooms. It was also affecting our number count for lunches because we are on the CACFP food program. So when our cook goes around in the morning and sees who's here, she cooks for that many kids. And then 5 extra kids come in after 9 and we're like, okay, we have to make some extra food. So it was really causing a lot of disruptions in many ways. So we tell them now, unless you have a doctor's appointment or some sort of appointment and you don't let us know 24 hours before, you walk in after 9, you're not coming in. And you also cannot drop off during nap time and pick up during nap time. We talk about late pickup. Some parents think, just because we charge a late pickup fee, they can do it whenever they want. And we had to excuse a few families that just couldn't make pickup at 6 o'clock. And sometimes you just have to let them go and say, you know what, maybe you need to go to a center that's open later because we're not a good fit for you. So it's just getting them, on board with how you run your school. Another thing is, 2-week written notice for termination or withdrawal, and how to also take a security deposit. So when they don't do that, you just keep it. I see so many owners saying this family just left. And that's why you have to always take a deposit. We go over our discipline policies. We go over our children behavior policies, and we even go over our termination policy. Sometimes we're terminating because the child is just, not really coming into our center and easing in, and we just sometimes you notice behavior problems and the parents are not on board with it, and that's really tough. So we go over, if we think we see a problem, we're going to call a meeting with you, please come meet with us, and we go from there. But some parents just, you don't want to take the time to meet with us. So we set that out there and let them understand, that might happen. We go over our illness policy, because you know how many parents send their kids in chock full of Tylenol, and by 1 o'clock it wears off and they have a fever. Like, oh my gosh, yeah, come pick them up. We tell them that they have to be, once we call you, you have 30 minutes to get here. We're going to call your emergency card, and we're going to call everybody until this child was picked up, because, we were sick of having sick kids laying in the office on a cot, so this whole parent onboarding program just came out of all the frustrations that we have with parents. And I thought that if they knew and onboarded and understood more, and we all set expectations with each other, it would just be a smooth transition into the center, and it would be less daily problems putting out fires for my staff and my directors. So all that. And lastly, one thing we do go over is a parent code of conduct. And if you don't have a parent code of conduct in your center, you should create, because sometimes parents act worse than the kids. So if you outline it and you tell them, it's basically how you will act and what we will not put up with, and it's a perfect document when you have to call a parent out on someone, which I have done. And I would send them and say, this is our parent code of conduct that you've read and signed. And, you will not speak to my staff that way. And, whatever, I've used it to back up my communication with them on, correcting their behavior, or you're out of here.
Love that.
Mm-hmm.
By doing all this stuff, I mean, the biggest thing with parents is communication, and just handing them a parent handbook, they don't read it. So that's not communication. That is
Correct.
just, I mean, they have most millennials, the younger generation who are our parents nowadays, just have an attention span of a gnat. And it's very small nowadays,
Absolutely.
That's why they look at reels. They're quick, short span. They're not going to spend the time reading this thing. So if you force them to go through onboarding, then at least you know that they heard what you're saying, and now you can hold them accountable to that. So I absolutely love that.
And make them sign off on it. Oh, another thing we do too is we use ProCare Engage, and we make sure that they are enrolled in ProCare Engage, in our child tracking system. And we tell them, besides email, this is how we're going to communicate to you on, closures for snow days. We get snow in New Jersey. Sometimes we just call it in the morning or the night before. So we tell them, like, we're going to text you through the app, and we're going to send you an email. We're going to tell you to get on our website. So we tell them how we notify them. So we just don't notify them one way. So when they say, I didn't get the email, you could say, well, we texted you through ProCare Engage system, or we put it on our website. So we tell them all the ways that we communicate to them through emergencies, or, events that we were having. Parents are so easy to say, like, oh, I didn't get that email, or I didn't know. And even though you send it to them like 5 times, 5 different ways, they don't pay attention to that kind of stuff.
Right. And here if you do have to charge a late fee, at least you told them ahead of time.
Mm-hmm.
There's no surprises with
Mm-hmm.
the policies.
Mm-hmm.
They might conveniently forget, but you show them, hey, you signed you off on this. More than likely, you had a better chance they're going to remember being onboarded than not being onboarded.
Mm-hmm. Or when you tell a parent the first time that they can't come because they didn't pay their tuition.
Mm-hmm.
I can't come tomorrow, not unless you have payment in hand. No, you can't. And at first, these are hard policies when you start to do them. But once you do them once or twice, you're like, no, you can't come. And they'll show up cash in hand the next day, or a credit card or whatever. So it's amazing.
It's amazing how people said they don't have a penny to their name, how fast they come with money when you're going to turn them away.
Oh, yeah,
me.
absolutely.
I've seen it. They find it pretty darn quick because they need that care. So, Lisa, I want to thank you for taking time to come on today. This is a great program. I hope you learned a little bit about it. And if you're struggling in your childcare business and you need help, just reach out to me. If you're a center owner, go to childcaregenius.com under the coaching tab. So I'd like a free coaching call, and we could hop on a call and I'll give you some advice. You got to be a center owner and not done a call within the past year, and I'll be happy to help you out. And Lisa, thank you again for taking time out of your busy life to spend some
You're
time
welcome.
with Child Care Genius Training Podcast. Have a good rest of your day.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you for listening to the Child Care Genius Podcast. If you enjoyed the show, please do us a favor and hit the subscribe button so you don't miss a future episode. Don't forget to visit our website at childcaregenius.com to see a list of services we offer to help grow your child care business. Until next time, thank you for being a part of the Child Care Genius community.